So today is the first day of InstallerSHOW in New York. We are here with our stand where we are presenting our new online microlearning platform, and we will present what are the capabilities and how we can help the US market do so. So we are here on InstallerSHOW New York on Navien stand, and together with me is Travis, national HVAC trainer for Navien. Hi Travis.
Yeah, how's it going?
Yeah. It's fine. So can you tell us something about this product? Why is it specific, and what are, let's say, uniqueness?
That's a huge question. So what we've got here is the Navien NPF furnace, and ultra low NOx, 97% AFUE, and that's big. And you're like, okay, Travis, who cares? Well, it's modulating, and we do it different. How do we do it different? I'll walk over here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll take it. So right here. Most furnaces out there, obviously, gas comes in, heats up a heat exchanger, blower goes over. But that heat exchanger could be super hot. So at that point, we're dehumidifying, and there's a comfort to HVAC. Well, this is where ultimate comfort ensues. We use a hydronic coil. Water goes in here, gets pumped into our hydronic coil, obviously is heated up, blower goes on, and then that water goes back into the reservoir, gets reheated, and that ultimate comfort ensues. We're not drying out the air, we're not doing any of that. Now, from a training standpoint, this is huge. You probably love this. No pressure switches. Okay, I said it's modulating. What's the number one issue when we're talking training? We used to do that all the time, is pressure switches, safeties, all that kind of stuff. It is kind of a nuance of the HVAC industry. Well, because we're coming in on the intake side and we're modulating from there, we don't have to have pressure switches. So easier to work on. Also have the front panel that even goes through a service wizard to tell you how it is. Now, I'm not discounting training by any means, but there is a certain skill gap that we're dealing with in the industry, and this really allows and embraces the up and coming and the digital age, which is really where the skill gap is going. We have to have the interface that the younger generation is there.
When you mention interface in our industry, usually we are overcomplicating things, units. Do you want to tell that, let's say, with this skills gap, what you are mentioning, what we are trying to achieve with education, this will be really good fit product for someone who is maybe not so experienced or who is, let's say, entry level, try to break into our industry?
I don't disagree. Obviously, from an entry-level standpoint, the last thing we'd want is somebody that's not supposed to be working on something. I don't want a homeowner doing it. No. But yes, because think about this. I go into the service wizard, and it tells me in a way that I need to know, or the way that I understand. Like you said, maybe I'm up and coming, that I can ask the questions to the people, then get the right answer. When I started out in the field, it was always the guy that was been doing this for 20, 30 years. And he might have been a little cranky at the time, or didn't want to tell me, or I had to earn that respect before I got the answer. Well, from this, you could call our technical support team and just read off of that, and then that kind of on-the-job training, which we know is in the industry, happens there, and it takes out that communication error. Back in the day when I was on the phone and taking that, it's like, okay, well, what is your pressure? Good. And it takes away from that is, we don't have to do good. Well, just read it off the screen. And if I don't know as a technician, it's very easy to talk them through to find that answer. And then we only have to know once. And then after that, we can remember. And yes, by year 1, 2, 3 of interfacing with equipment like this, you are a better technician.
Thanks, Travis. Thanks for this. We'll now also go to
the heat pump.
Heat pump. Yeah, we are in this field. So, and this is also what I want to show to my people in Europe. You have slightly different heat pump configuration here in the US. So, can you tell us about this one?
Here is the NAZ17 modulating heat pump, non-communicating, so you can whatever thermostat you want to use. And this is really a game changer, just like the NPF. We've got 2 different versions, so this 3 and a 5 ton, and you set a dip switch. 3 is 2 ton, set a dip switch. 5 is 4 ton. adaptive defrost on this, outdoor ECM motor, so we are, again, variable capacity on this one, down to -4. A couple of key features with this, it does come with a crankcase heater, so we even have low ambient cooling options right out of the box. No extra accessories, stuff like that. So that's really huge. Now, I'm gonna grab one of these. I'm gonna hand you the microphone here.
Yep. And can you tell me, let's say, when you say modulation, do you know from here the percentage? Because in Europe we are always obsessed with modulation because we need to cover full, wide area for low ambient to high. So we are always like, okay, we need heat pumps with the lower end of modulation.
It's a percentage of hertz, and in some applications can even go down to 17 hertz. But again, just as your training says online, and as we talk about heat pumps, it's really about the balance point of the structure, and people forget about that. I get that question all the time. Well, what will it go down to? Well, it'll go down to -4. Doesn't mean that your house will still be warm at -4, because if our heat loss is too much, that balance point is off, right?
Yes, we are always also trying to explain house and heat loss is first point,
right?
Then you know what to play, yeah.
And I think that's page 2 of your training, that PDF that you download, like premium at that point, because it really does talk to the nuances. Is I just can't just pull it out of the box and make it work from a heat pump, because again, at the end of the day, we're in the comfort heating and cooling business. How we do it are products like this.
Yes.
So full lineup, obviously, on the Navien side. And the cool part about the NAZ heat pump is it matches with all of our equipment, and there is Bluetooth technology in this, so a technician can download our app and they can look at it, and it gives them the pressures and temperatures and even the state that the unit is in at a visual glance. So that's huge.
Thanks, Trace. I think we covered a lot. Thank you very much. We are here. Yeah, we are also trying with this education, but we are now developing our interactive platform. You know, you are in contact with guys. You need interactivity. How you find this? Let's say we talk about skills gap. How is here in the US? In Europe is really a huge topic. How is here?
It is just as scary. I don't have any other word for it. As a manufacturer, as an OEM, we are just like you guys, is trying to how do we get the communication out there? How do we get the next generation to be able to work on this equipment and want to be in the industry? And it is interactive. It is training programs, just as yourself, that engages even the people that are here and up and coming to want to know that HVAC and comfort is really the business to be in. So, don't be scared.
And it's fun. It's fun.
It is fun. It is great. The trainings have to be engaging. I know that when I started out, I remember probably sleeping through those death by PowerPoints. Thankfully, we are past that. And even with some of the stuff, dare I say, it's almost game-like. And at the end, you feel you're like, man, I got this. I can do this. And that's great. And that share of information has to happen.
Thanks, Trace. Thanks.
Yeah, not a problem.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you. See you. So we are here with very known face, Adam from UK. So nice to meet you here.
Yeah,
and
first time meeting in person.
First time meeting in person in the US.
Yeah.
So strange. Can you tell us something about your company, what you are doing, heat pumps and so on?
Yeah, that's it. So we're a British manufacturer of heat pumps, Global Energy Systems. We've been building heat pumps for 18 years now in the UK. First time in the US, bringing R290 to the US, which is unique. They're not quite there, Obviously over in Europe, we've been doing it for 4 or 5 years, but yeah, so we're trying to crack the market here. Yeah.
What you can show us regarding your unit?
Yeah, sure. So this is our latest product. This is R290 monoblock heat pump, 14 kilowatts at -7. Variable speed pump that's delta T controlled, secondary pump that can be delta T controlled on the other side of it.
This is something interesting.
Yeah, this is it. So me and Mario were talking about it earlier. You can almost select what head pump you want. So any of the Grundfos range pumps you can put in our unit, and we can control the DT on that. And then secondary to the buffer tank, if you need to go down a buffer tank route, and we always communicate about that, the design of the system, you can choose to control the DT on the secondary side as well with the heat pump.
And what is also important, what you mentioned, you are locally based manufacturer, so you are very flexible, both with support and when you with your unit. Is this maybe unique selling point? What is your feedback?
Sure, yeah. So we put remote monitoring on every single one of our units. We have a SIM card in every unit. We record the data from the unit. We can adjust every parameter in the unit from head office. And then if something goes wrong with the unit, we can decide what that issue is before we get out to site and head out and have pretty much a first-time fix rate. So yeah, and as you say, Mario, because we are a smaller, family-owned firm, we can communicate better with the installers if they've got issues, feedback. If something's not great about a product, we can adjust it pretty quickly. So yeah.
And at the end, education is something what I'm deep inside, and you know what we are doing now with this interactive assessment. You are very long also in this business. How you see this part, especially with online interactivity, what we are doing and what you are doing, like combining knowledge from manufacturers, from me, from the guys, how you can see this part?
Yeah, it's so important. Education is key. What Mario does, what the other guys in the industry are doing to promote high level of installation, that's the key. And as a manufacturer, we're responsible for that as well. I'll totally admit, early days, that focus wasn't on that. We would like to sell a product, ship it, and forget about it. We cannot do that. We have got to help installers, help trainers, all work together to get everybody better at installing. We've not got it right every time in the past, but we endeavour to do better year on year. That's the key.
Thanks, Adam. Thanks, and hope you and I and both will enjoy States and expand the business here.
Absolutely. If we can all win, jobs are good.
Thanks, mate.
All right.
Thanks. Yeah, actually, we have something more to show you. Adam, filter.
Yeah.
Important topic.
This is it. So this is our filter specifically for heat pumps. Again, early days of our installations, we struggled to find a heat pump filter that had high kV value for high flow rates. So we designed this ourselves. It's got a magnet inside it, easily taken apart. And the big key is non-metallic waste is captured by a large gauze filter. This takes forever to block up. Even if the central part blocks up, we've got full flow rate around the outside of it. Drain off point at the bottom, isolation valves. It's got a 25-year warranty on as well. So pretty good piece of kit.
And you are selling it together with your heat pump mostly, or like a separate product?
Yeah, so we sell them separately as well. Every one of our heat pumps comes with one of these filters with it, but if you want to buy them separately, you can. Again, suitable for gas boilers, oil boilers, brine side of a ground source heat pump, etc. Good piece of kit, full stainless steel.
Thanks, Adam.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Cheers, guys.
We're here today on Midea stand with Victor. Victor, can you tell us something about your company, what you are doing, and what you are covering?
Hello everyone, so my name is Victor, and our company AI Education Corp, we are the wholesaler of Midea product in the United States. We will be covering mainly Midea products for sales, after-sales service, technical support, and other stuff.
Hydronics in US are not so popular like in Europe, but we are with in front of one chiller. Can you tell us something about this specific chiller and also about hydronics in general in your region?
So hydronics is actually, I see it's a trending, it's a trend in U.S. market, because right now we have this transition from R410A, which is A1 refrigerant, to a R32/454B, which is A2L refrigerant. And because A2L is slightly flammable, so the code has a lot more restrictions on when you do the installation, and that will cause a lot increase on the installation costs on the homeowner side and the contract side. So we're probably gonna have to, one of the solutions is to keep all the refrigerant outside the room, and then we just bring the water into the room. That's gonna be a lot easier, at least code-wise. So this is why we bring this unit right here. This is our heat pump chiller. We call it heat pump chiller. It can generate both cool water or hot water for your either domestic hot water use or for space heating / cooling. This particular unit is a 20-ton, and we do offer up to 40-ton single modules. You are able to connect up to 8 of the units all together using one controller. That gives you a 320-ton system, up to 320-ton system for an entire whatever your application is.
So this controller is like cascade controller, which is controlling, let's say, redundancy of these units. So this controller is controlling which unit, which compressor will start or stop, or how you will manage the load.
Well, that controller is more of that's actually going to be a complicated system, because once this generates the hot or cold water, you still have to run your water inside, which you say if you do space heating, you're going to have a fan coil inside each room, and those temperature will be controlled by separate controllers. For our controller, only controls the units based on the demand, based on the water flow, when the unit should be turned on, off, stuff like that.
And you mentioned you are also doing technical support and trainings. How you find these trainings, especially also we have our online platform, you check that one, how you can see this collaboration and this passing this knowledge to the guys on field who are installing that unit?
So we mainly do trainings focusing on our distributors / the contractors who works with our distributors. Our distributors, we all have enough knowledge on the product at the beginning. That's how we select our distributors as well. So we will just give them a specific trainings on how our unit performs compared to our competitors. What are some key features, selling points, some backup plans say if the unit fails, stuff like that, how to do troubleshooting. And then for some of the new contractors, we will also be introducing them, from the basic on how the system works, what we should expect when we're on site on the numbers, the measurements, the data you are getting from. And we will be also maybe thinking about some online tool to help them understand the flow and the mechanism better.
And you also mentioned on our meeting, let's say in Europe and also especially in the UK with this apprenticeships model with colleges, you also have trade schools here. How you can see trade schools and learning, let's say combination of online and hands-off learning with trade schools as you are working with them?
I think this is actually a very important part for us, because right now we're actually lacking people in this industry who's actually doing the work. So the trade school, they actually teach you a lot of hands-on stuff. How do you braze? How do you do pressure tests? But they are kind of like a lack of some of the, not the schools, but like they don't really focus on the technical, the logic, or the theory behind it. So, and I know there are a lot of online courses that teaches the theories behind it. I think this is very important to combine the theory and the practical all together, because you need to know the theory behind it to be able to diagnose the unit. But you also need to be able to do hands-on performance to be able to fix the unit. So it's pretty important to combine both.
And how you like it, our interactivity? So you checked our interactive assessment, how you like it?
I personally like it a lot. It's very user-friendly for especially beginners. Like it does the well explanation on every single details on what each term stands for. How do you play with it? I use the word play with it because it's like a game, and also it literally walks you through from the very basic stuff, and then goes deeper and deeper and deeper, so that it doesn't jump back and forth. Because sometimes if you introduce something that's too technical, people will get lost, right? So it goes like step by step, and I think that's a good tool.
Thank you, Victor. Thanks for having us here, and if you are here in the region, check the guides. I will put the links below about Midea products. Thanks. So we are here, InstallerSHOW, and another show is New York Build, where there are building companies like real estate, construction, heat pump companies. Now we are going on New York Build to see what they are offering and what they can explain to us about their products. So let's go. So generally New York Build is really well known here. I think it's approximately 30,000-40,000 people attending. InstallerSHOW is first time here in the US. So we are just starting with this thing. But let's see what is on New York Build. Here we can see first heat pumps. So first stand is heat pump stand. So Ephoca. Let's see what they can do. Hi. So let's see first what we have here. So it's really huge. Ephoca heat pumps. Let's check with the guys what they are doing. Just if you want to walk us around,
yes,
what you're offering. Okay,
we have
so
the smallest heat pumps.
So here's the mic.
Here's the mic. We have the smallest heat pumps available in the New York market right now. Essentially what we only need is two 8-inch holes of fresh air access, and that can do 10 to 15,000 BTU of heat. And you see the sleek Italian design of it. I know you Croatian guys love
we
stylish there, so you're...
Where are you producing them?
We produce them in Italy, Storo, Italy, in the Dolomites there, right by the Olympics, where it just happened. But as you see, this is a very sleek, very highly efficient unit. It only uses like 1.8 kilowatts of energy to heat and cool. It's a true heat pump.
Okay.
It's the best on the market right now.
Oh, what is refrigerant?
Refrigerant is R32.
R290 is not allowed in the US.
It is not.
Yeah.
The R290, but so the R32 is the new thing.
Yeah.
And as you see, it is a very sleek unit. Obviously, there's cutaways here, so you could see it. These are not how the unit comes and everything like that. But this will do 10 to 15,000 BTU. And this is great for apartment, multifamily, hotel spaces, and everything like that. We use that for a lot. And then we have, if you come back here, we have our ceiling suspended units. We have our ceiling concealed units. We have our vertical stack units, and we have our water source heat pumps, which work with hydronic systems.
Yeah, we are mostly working in hydronic systems, so this is interesting.
Let's come to the hydronic section here.
My people are mostly in air-to-water heat pumps, in hydronics.
Oh yeah, so, the hydronics is a big thing. So the beautiful thing about this unit is that it only requires the supply water to be 70 degrees. So it comes into this unit, and what it'll do, it'll make up the difference.
20 degrees Celsius.
20 degrees Celsius.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. But what it'll do, you can independently run these. So most boilers, you're either hot or you're cold with the chiller. This will independently run, so one room to another can be air conditioning on, heating on the same water supply. So it's very efficient, and it gives you that comfort level that you really want from room to room and everything like that.
Is this a big thing here in New York? Because let's say in Europe, we are starting a lot with these multifamily buildings with water loop with this one. How is the things with hydronics here?
We are taking off with the hydronics here. It has been a little bit of a slow start, but we're doing a lot better with that. It's starting, people are picking up on it. They're finding that it's the best way, because water, I think, is the best transfer or carrier of energy out of anything.
Agreed.
And we have a lot of hydronic buildings in New York City, especially. So it just is beautiful. It's a transition. It's very easy. You tap this into the existing lines of the building, very low construction, and you can utilize it from there.
Yeah. Thanks. And what we have here?
This is the exterior unit. So if you want, this is essentially a boiler chiller in one. Okay. So this is the smallest one. Obviously, we're at a show, but we have a lot bigger ones. And this will heat and cool the water to the appropriate temperature to maximize the efficiency in this, so that you could heat and cool the building.
So this is basically like classic HVAC heat pump, but really, again, I can see design. It's really, it's not very Italian, very Italian
Very
stuff.
Italian.
Yeah. Thanks, Just. Thanks.
Well, I appreciate you guys.
Thanks, mate. So we are here with EMME Controls. Chris is with me. So Chris, what EMME Controls do? What you have here?
Yes, EMME Controls, energy management made easy. We're supplying a BMS system into HVAC ductworks. So we have commercial, residentials, and industrials. As you can see here, we have a lot of partners, Amazon, salons all over the country. On the tri-state area on the East Coast, we're expanding rapidly. But what's going on essentially is, say you have a certain number of zones that you want to satisfy. We can satisfy every single one of those zones and even more that you weren't even thinking of. We can even do like the hallways. We can even do like the outside common places, and anywhere you can think of. Everywhere will be regulated. The temperature will be supplied from our smart brain, essentially, that'll be installed somewhere inconspicuously in a closet. And essentially, our air pumps will decide, or our smart brain will decide that, say, one zone needs to be satisfied, and it'll decide that it's time to pull air out from that ductwork in that zone, and it'll put it in another area.
And you are doing mostly with VRFs with ductworks, or you also have some kind of for hydronic systems for water management, or mostly with air?
It's only going to be pretty much ductwork and air quality control. So with the residentials, what's different with that is the pneumatic tubing installation. This tubing is going to lead to the smart brain, and through the hose, it's going to have the air pumped in and out of the dampers as need be. When it's fully inflated, no air is going to escape through that ductwork. When it's deflated, air is going to flow through.
So as I am, let's say, owner of the building,
Yeah.
I don't need to think about that because BMS is doing it. Technician is setting up and BMS is taking care of it.
Exactly. You won't. It's pretty much something you're not going to have to worry about at all. We'll pretty much catch any indiscrepancies probably before you do. But with the training that we provide to the owner, we can get you trained to where you might even catch it before us. We can pretty much make you an unpaid employee for us. You'll become very familiar with the system. We have a lot of clients that like to get on there and play around and check out the scheduling, check out what's been going on. Even in the middle of the night, they'll wake up in the middle of the night and we'll see they're on there and they're playing around with it. It's a really cool system. It is.
Thanks. Thank you for explaining. And now you have just
3 zones going to have
thermostat.
a smart controller installed in there. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you want
degree Fahrenheit, but in Celsius it's approximately 21.
Yeah. So, but say you want to increase the temperature, you go up. You want to decrease the temperature, you go down. We have localized control for the client. In the hallways, like I said, the commonplace areas, we have smart sensors. These aren't controlled locally. We control those. But like I said, there's also a schedule set for these. If there's going to be any changes, the schedule is going to be responsible for that. But if you want us to mess around with that, if you want us to change that for you, we can. That's not a problem.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks. It was a pleasure. See you. Yeah, so we are here with Chris from Wells Darby. I can see hydronics, so usually here is HVAC, air, but I like to see hydronics because this is what we are also doing.
Yeah, so
can you tell us something about
we are Wells Darby. We are a hydronic house. We're a manufacturer's representative. So manufacturers throughout the world hire us to be them, be their sales, be their tech support and design for the whole New York City area, for Long Island and New Jersey. And we also have some affiliates as well. So Wells Darby, we are pretty much a hydronic facility. We've grown up with Takeo, which is a circulator manufacturer out of Rhode Island, amongst every other thing. And then we had Modine, we've got A.O. Smith, which are water heaters, domestic hot water heaters. We've got Uponor radiant floor heating. And a lot of that stuff was all hydronic for us, the heating side, residential, commercial. And then with Uponor, they are a radiant floor heat manufacturer, so we do well with them with snow melt. We are in a territory where we get some snow, so we can do some snow melting.
So you are doing, let's say, everything from residential to commercial. You are doing design, installation, troubleshoot. You have team for that, or you have contractors?
Yeah, we have teams where we work with distributors, the people who sell our product. We have teams that work with contractors to teach them. We have training classes. We have training facilities at our locations. We work to teach to make sure they can use our products, install our products properly. We have a team that work with engineers and architects to help them design, and we'll provide them with these types of plans here, the CAD drawings. We'll do full CAD drawings on how to pipe a boiler system, how to pipe a chiller system, how to pipe water heaters or domestic hot water. And we also have radiant floor heat loops, snow melt, you name it. We can do all the drawings, give it to the architect or the engineer, they put it on their plans and then put it out to the street. So,
how is in general hydronics and heat pumps, chillers here? Because what I can hear is air to water is starting to be a thing. Let's say in Europe it's already a common thing, but how is it in this region with hydronic systems?
Yeah, so hydronics, again, was what we know. We use natural gas, we use oil, we use steam to provide heating during the winter. In New York State, they're making a mandate to Local Law 97, which is basically going to outlaw anything that's a fossil fuel. So natural gas, oil, steam is going to be outlawed because they don't want it for the environment. So air source or water source heat pumps are now a thing. So it's not something we really were looking for. It's something that we're being told we have to do. The building owners, the property managers, all that stuff around here, if they want to do something in their building to provide a new heating system or cooling system, it's got to be heat pump technology. So all the manufacturers that we deal with are in that world now, and we're basically learning how to design, how to make sure that we can provide enough heating, how to make hot water with an air source heat pump. You know, it's something new for us because there was really nothing better than natural gas to make hot water, but we can't do that anymore. So right now we're learning how to do the systems really well with air source heat pumps.
I think this is more or less everything. Thanks.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks for having me. Thanks. See you. So we are here with Thermal System Associates. They are distributors for Hisense. So can you tell us something about your company and what you are offering here?
Yeah, so today, do you mind if I grab this? Hello. We're showcasing our high comfort system here today. So our high comfort system from Hisense is 3, 4, and 5 ton outdoor condensing unit. It's a dual fan unit, and you'll notice that there are 3 connections to it. Those 3 branches are going to go over here to our gray tower. Come with me. This is actually a VRF domestic hot water heater. So those 3 branches are in heat recovery going to this unit here. There's an evaporator and double wall heat exchanger in here, and a 60-gallon storage tank right underneath here that's fully insulated. So those branches are always going to keep this running in heating mode, even if your indoor units are running in cooling during the summer or heating in the winter. So this is going to go here. You have your 3 branches for heat recovery, and then go heat pump system, 2 branches, over to your indoor units. This is our air handling indoor unit. So if you have ductwork in your house, this is what you would use. And this would be in heating and cooling mode in the summer and winter. Now in the summertime, when this is in cooling mode, all that rejected heat that comes out of your space is going to go directly into your hot water tank here. And it's a much more efficient system that way. So.
And generally, let's say in Europe, heat pumps and air to water and hydronic systems is really, let's say, popular. Here it's starting to be. So with this solution you are offering both. So let's say, like, if you want heating cooling with ducts, or if you want also with water. So what I can imagine is that you can also provide this for hydronic systems.
So it's not quite for hydronic systems yet. It's just going to be air to refrigerant, so air to air. So it's air to refrigerant in the condenser, and then refrigerant to air in the indoor units. Now, the refrigerant to water is for domestic potable water only. So you have a combination system here.
So you are using this rejected heat to have heat recovery, to have free domestic hot water heating in summer.
Yes, absolutely.
In general. And at the end, let's say, I can see also here you have big, other big chillers, big systems. What is, let's say, your market presence here and what you are offering beside of this product?
Yeah, so as a manufacturer's rep, we represent over 20 companies, and that ranges from gas-fired boilers, we have air-cooled chillers, our air-to-water heat pumps for domestic hot water, and our full VRF line here, along with our Hexonic heat exchangers and pumps and accessories to give you a complete system. So we're able to do everything for you here, create a system, and then follow up with the contractors to make sure it's installed correctly so everything runs well.
Thanks. Thanks a lot. Thanks.